Good morning. Welcome to Open Hand Farm. I am out in my front garden bed area and I am finally going to plant some kale and beets in some of these boxes. I don't know that I'll have room for all of it, but I will put some out here and put the rest in the garden out back. Yesterday, Mark and I covered these beds with screen. I didn't have the screening on some of them, and we had plastic on this one with the lettuce in it, and we took the plastic off since it's not cold anymore and put screen on. The first thing I need to do though is this bed here has a lot of new compost in it from the compost we picked up from our friend with the hay farm. And I need to move some of that into that box because it needs a little bit of help for this year. So that's what I'm gonna do first. If you haven't seen these beds, they lift up, the lid does, and I usually prop them up with a stick when I'm just watering or picking. But since I'm going to be doing a lot of maneuvering in there today, I'm going to lift the lid open the whole way. And we have a string, a mason wire string on each end to hold it so that it doesn't fall all the way back. Okay, this bed here is still really full, and I'm just gonna kind of try and level it out a little bit so we can plant in it. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm gonna plant kale in this first bed, and I know that I can plant one kale per square foot. I'm just gonna divide it into square feet or close to it. I'm not gonna measure it, and fit them in that way. Now, I know that this bed is 4 feet wide, but I'm just gonna divide it into 3 sections. Because we have this overlap of these boards, so I'm gonna play like it's 3 feet wide. I have 16 squares. I'm not going to plant them right here because my screen kind of slants in and it won't be able to have the height to grow to its full capacity. So I'm going to stay within this area of the box. Now, even though we just put compost in here, I'm going to add some bone meal, and I'm going to add some mycorrhizal inoculant to give the plant a good boost and help it to build a connection with the soil. I have two different kinds of kale. I have a blue Scotch curl and I have a burgundy. And they are almost fruit bound. That's not good. And I'm just gonna sprinkle a little in there. Sprinkle some bone meal. I will kind of loosen some of these up. Some of these have some yellow leaves on them. After I get them all planted, I'll come back and cut those dry or yellow ones off. I think I'm gonna mix up my colors and plant purple in between the green. So there we go. You guys, I'm so excited. I can't believe I actually have something planted that I started from seeds. Finally. I wanted to show you my tulips that I planted last year. A master gardener that came to teach a class, and she brought thousands of bulbs with her. I still have some that have not bloomed of different varieties, but I also have lots of coreopsis here. It just keeps coming back really big and full. I think I'm going to dig some of them up and put them in other places of the garden because I have enough here. Over in this area, I always have calendula come up, but I might move a couple of the coreopsis over there. And on this side, I have tulips and I have my bee balm coming up, which is also really full. Maybe I need some coreopsis over here because I really don't have a lot going on here. I also have this spot on the side of the porch that doesn't have anything either. So maybe I'll put some there too. Who knows? I'm taking a break from planting because my back's kind of hurting. I've been struggling with a bad back this season and I don't like it. But I wanted to show you that I also have some tulips here by the raspberries as well as some daylilies. But I did trim back and clean up my raspberries. They are bushing out very nicely on the old wood. And then we have lots of new ones coming in also. We have them coming up in places I don't want them, as well as places that I am very glad to have them. I have several popping up over here. And as you can see, they are quite a distance from the area that I try to contain them in. Now, if they were just on this side of this fence, I'd be happy with that, like that one right there. But these are coming way out, but that's okay because I have friends who are more than willing to come and get them. As you can see, there are plenty to share. Although these are perfect because they will just come up on this side of my fence. So those we will leave, but this one is out too far. We've got some coming up here. We've got some by the yarrow, which is doing beautifully this year, so big. And look at this thyme. Oh my goodness, you guys, this was such a tiny plant last year. The lemon thyme is still kind of tiny, but that's okay. And you can see we've got raspberries there and there, over here, they're everywhere. Here's another coreopsis that I planted 2 years ago. I didn't think it was going to come up last year. It finally did. This year it's coming up really well. So I'm glad it finally got established. And over here, my lemon balm is coming in nicely, as well as my echinacea and more daylilies. Okay, it's time to get busy. This is the box that I threw the compost in that I took from this box. So I will level this out and plant some beets. So beets I can do 5 inches apart. So I'll probably do 3 rows again and put them 5 inches apart. Although I do plant my beets 3 together so that you end up with a bigger beet. You can take that one. The next one grows a little bit bigger. You take that one and then you have one left. So in a row where I could put probably 10 or 11, I will actually get 30 to 33 because I put 3 in the same spot. I have 2 different varieties here. These are red conical, so they will be long and not as big around. And then the golden beet, which I love, it's more the shape of a regular beet, except it's orange in color. Okay, that'll give me an idea. And I am definitely going to use the bone meal for this because this has phosphorus in it, which is great for bulb plants. Looks like I'm gonna get 8 in a row. Okay, now we'll do a row of red. And just like that, we have another garden bed planted. You guys, this is so exciting. Let me show you what's in this bed. We have turnips that need to be thinned. We have spinaches that are not real regular in their growth because I planted them before we had the screen over this and something dug in here a lot. And then we also have radishes. Same story. Some of them are thick, some of them you go a long way before you see one. Again, something dug around in it and messed up my seed placement. Now I will go ahead and put some bone meal in with these things also, so that they'll do really good too. So I went ahead and gave this whole bed some bone meal. See it on the surface? And then I'm just scratching it in so that it can be watered in and be stored there for use as it needs it. And let me show you this one down here. The one that we took the plastic off of yesterday and added the screen. We have lots of different lettuces. Now, we have these 3 rows here in the very middle where there's taller lettuces. That is the Paris Island that will head up into a romaine lettuce. And then the little leaves are the Tom Thumb, and they will head up into a little round head about a single serving size. So I did the Paris Island all down the middle of the bed. So every row has Paris Island in the middle. Then we have red lettuces. We have this nice green lettuce, more red, and then this is arugula. So I'm gonna get out here with the basket and some scissors and go to town on this after I'm done with this video. But first, I have to give all of this some water. One more thing before I go in I want to do is tie up these raspberry bushes. I don't really have a great plan for them. What I'm thinking is just take some twine and lift them back and kind of put them more upright, because there's new ones growing under them. And I'm gonna need some sort of structure for them. I have a wire structure that I put my blackberries on, but not for these raspberries, obviously. So I'm gonna see what I can come up with. I'm just using some of this twine that looks like kind of a, it's not a jute, it's got a, I don't know, like a plastic feel to it. But I know that it's really sturdy and doesn't kind of rot out like jute does. All right, so this is what it looks like. There's several strings. It kind of looks like a spider's web. And within a few weeks, you will not even see these strings. I wanted to share with you that my friend Michael from the Chaos Gardener told me not to cut back my raspberries this year, and they would have berries on them sooner because I wouldn't have to wait for them to start from the ground and grow all the way up. And I had never done that. Of course, I've only had these berries a couple years. So their first year, I did not do that. I just cut them all the way back and they all came back beautifully, but it took a while to get berries. So I did not cut them back this year. And I began to think, they are not going to do anything. And then like a week ago, they just went crazy. And now I'm seeing berries gonna start soon. So that is so exciting. I mean, it's only April and I've got evidence of blossoms coming on my raspberries. Now these raspberries, number one, are thornless. Number two, they produce fruit until October. They do not stop. Like every day I got at least a pint off of these berries. And there's even more of them this year because they are prolific and they keep coming back. So they're called Joan J. Thornless raspberries and they're amazing. I ordered more last year and I put them in a different spot. Let me see if I can find them here. There's our apple trees, and they are along a little fence like this one over here, right there. And unfortunately, they are not thornless. I'm fine with it though. After I grew them, I didn't realize they had thorns on them until after they were established in the ground and started really getting their leaves, and then I noticed it. I did not want to dig them up and send them back and start fresh. It's okay if we have a few thorns. At least I have all of these over here that are thornless so that my grandkids can pick them and enjoy them and I don't have to worry about them getting poked. Our apple trees, which are starting to leaf out. And look at this beautiful comfrey. I love comfrey. It's so pretty. We have a plant there. We have yarrow there. More comfrey. More yarrow. It's just barely coming up there. And more comfrey. Okay, you guys, I had to add one more thing to this video that is so exciting. I don't know if you've ever seen people use a broad fork, but I have learned that if you till your garden, it only softens like the first 6 inches or so, and then your roots go down and they hit the hard compacted soil. So the best thing to do is to use a broad fork and put it down in there, kind of just wiggle it and break up that soil so that the roots have somewhere to go and your plant can keep growing. Also, it helps you get the fertilizers down there and anything else that you add, the compost that will end up breaking it up better for you. So anyway, I ordered a broad fork and I'm using it. It's kind of fun, a little scary at first. I'm going to show you what it does. So right here on this side, I have a rock in there. So I'm just gonna step it over one time and go ahead and break it up over there. Okay, I got one row done. Let me tell you, you guys, this is a great workout. This is a great workout. And I'm thinking it's fun though, it really is, to just kind of rock on that. It's kind of like riding a ride. I just hate it when I hit a rock because then I have to step it over one. But that's okay. What we will eventually do is come back and dig up those rocks. We did lightly till this area, but we could not get the tiller any deeper because we kept hitting rock. So we're probably gonna let the grass grow back here and just start right here and work our way over. It's not as big as we had hoped, but we can later this year, if we want to, go ahead and use the broad fork on this area, dig up the rock, but I just don't have time for that right now. I've got to get some stuff in the ground soon, and I need the ground prepared, so that's what I'm doing. The sun's going down, so it's really sunny over on this side of me, and the rains are coming in, so I'm trying to get at least this bed broad forked. So thanks a lot for coming along. I will leave a link in my description box for this particular broad fork. This is the strongest one you can buy. All the videos that I've watched say don't buy a less expensive one because it will break. And I can see how that could be true because you guys, there is a lot of force on this. But this one has a lifetime guarantee and I feel really good about it. Okay, you guys, I got it done. There were about five and a half rows that I did, and I did it in less than an hour. I'm definitely sweating though. It's great cardio workout, and I definitely need some of that. I just wanted to give you an update on what I got done.